Hey everybody, this is Mike with Anglers Sports Center here. We're here with Bill Montgomery of BKD Lures. So Bill, we're here today talking about Black Friday sales, but mainly Small Business Saturday, which is actually the Saturday after Black Friday. So we are going to be offering 20% off all the local manufacturers and whatnot, kind of promoting all the small businesses, all you guys that work with us so well along the year. And we really just wanted to highlight your lures, what you got to offer, and also sharing your story. I feel like half of the fun of Small Business Saturday is, especially fishing wise, is, you know, local companies kind of really make the entire, you know, our local industry what it is. So really want to get kind of your backstory on how did you become the BKD lure man?
Well, I started fishing in the Chesapeake Bay like 2008, and the guys I fished with were using BKDs. It wasn't a couple years later I actually met Sandy and Steve Siegel, who owned BKD, and just through conversation they were telling us that they were going to get ready to retire and move south, and they wanted to find the right person and, you know, the right group of people to, you know, continue selling their product. And maybe after our 2 years of knowing them, or probably a bit longer than that actually, we ended up making a deal, and my wife and I decided to buy the business. And you know, what they started, it was an excellent product, and then we just tried to add some marketing to it, and you know, here we are. Yeah, we're in Florida, we're in, you know, New York, so California.
So that's just a pile of headaches right there.
Yeah,
that's great. It's great. But the cool thing is, you know, you got into this because of the love of jigging and kind of getting that fever that we all get, and all those things where, you know, it is the right lure, and just the whole 9 yards of it.
I've gone trolling twice in my life, and you know, and while it was pretty impressive to get out on the boat when six rods go down at one time, there's nothing like having a rod in your hand and catching the fish.
Yeah. So now we are where we are today, which is, you know, light tackle jigging is the craze, you know, and that's not even just for striped bass, for tons of fish. In fact, you were actually just showing me the rig earlier of your guy who's using them for largemouth and cutting them in. So, you know, the lure I feel like has even evolved itself as how it's used. Some people are trolling them, and, you know, use them for bass fishing, all these different things. So I think we should definitely go through and just show people a little bit of how we're rigging these up and how we're fishing these.
Yeah, well, one of the big reasons that put me over the top of buying the company was I went to Florida to fish for my first time with my cousin. Never fished there before. Had his boat down there. We went out with a guide on the ocean side, and, you know, we did some real bait or live bait fishing. But for the rest of the week, we were going to go jigging, and we ended up catching all kinds of fish on BKDs, and I'm going, holy cow,
how do these not exist already?
Yeah. And thing is, they last a long time, so that was the biggest thing too. I remember fishing one morning, and I remember on our way in, I said, how many fish do you think I caught today? And he said, like 35, 40 fish. And I said, well, that's the same BKD I started with. So down there's a lot of toothy critters. Well, so again, you know, we started, that really gave me the fever that maybe this is something I ought to get into. So talking about other local people that fish it and fish it with different people, we have a customer that fishes the Potomac River quite a bit, and he actually cuts 2.5 inches off of a BKD. Uses a small jig head. Typically it's 1/4 ounce or less. Puts a skirt on it. He uses a white glow skirt, but this is the color, the albino, and he rigs it short. Now he might glue that hook slot shut there. I'm not sure, but this catches trophy fish for him, both freshwater and stripers. So that's just things that people don't always think about. People have been after us to make a smaller bait. And it's such an investment, and the smaller you go, the more you have to sell. And there's so much competition in that it's really difficult.
So let's talk about our general bay rig. You know, we're going to go jig for striped bass in 20 feet of water type rig.
Yep, it's you know, everybody does ask which way is the way to do it. You got the hook slot, and then you have come out the top. Well, I'm telling you, it's 50-50. I have a lot of customers that do hook it through that hook slot. It's kind of easier to get it through there than our jig heads. You know, we kind of made these jig heads to have a sharper, smaller barb on them. I don't think you need glue when you're using our jig heads, but some people will glue them using other jig heads. So that's one way to rig it. The nice thing about that is if you do have your hook to start wearing off because you have something pulling on it, you can actually typically turn it right around and hook it out the back and get, catch some more fish on it. So
as to why to do it on the top or the bottom, that's probably the most reasonable thing I've heard. It's just out of wear and tear.
There's no doubt about it that it's when you have that mass, it stays on the jig head better. Right. I don't care whose jig head it is. So really, a lot of guys will say I do it that way because it lasts longer.
Mm-hmm. I used to yell at my employees when all this first started because this is the way a fish swims and this is the top, and when they rig it through the belly, I'm like, what are you doing? This isn't the end.
Right.
And so again, like you said, now it's everybody's half and half on kind of who does it right or wrong.
And then we have guys that are adamant about they'll take something and cut it off to square it up so when you're rigging it, and this could be a 6-inch or a 10-inch, it just has a flat, better surface there. But again, half my customers just rig it. They don't care.
Yeah.
So
well, and it's a great bait for the price. I know that's that was also the big thing initially was that it was a bulk buy type thing, 10 in a pack. Since even those times now we have some dipped colors that you've been playing with, the 10-inch shad, and as you were talking about kind of like you went to Florida and they don't have it there. I remember when it got popular here, and it was because everybody made 5 and 7-inch baits, but no one made a 6-inch bait in between, and that was really a big deal for that to come about. And now you see so much more of this exact type of mold off it. So pretty cool how it's actually changed the market altogether and how it evolves. I know you're also talking about, I don't like to talk about anything that isn't fully here yet, but you are talking about maybe a paddle tail shad in our future for all the BKD-ites out there.
I actually have a box in my truck right now that I'm going to send out today with some sample of product that, I shouldn't say product. We had a drawing made up. We had it printed on a 3D printer, and I'm sending it to a mold company today, actually. And we'll start talking about that. It's a really big decision when you're coming out with something new. The molds are quite expensive, and when you want to make it, you want to make it once, hopefully. So my vision is that we'll get a single cavity or double cavity mold made, get a bunch hand poured, get them out there to some people. Then if that works out, then we'll get a production mold made.
Very, very cool. So as you can see, BKD's constantly innovating. And Bill, thank you for all the support. You guys, if you guys don't know this, but BKD's, they do a lot for us too here at the store as far as supporting events we do, customers, making sure people are happy with their product, all that stuff. So it's a great company to buy from. Great lures, great support, all that.
We appreciate your support, and there's a lot of local companies in this area that support us. Without the Chesapeake Bay, we would not be anything. So it's a little scary going into next year with some of the noise they're making about the fishery, but it's going to be for the betterment of the fishery. So
absolutely,
we'll get through it.
We'll all be here.
Yeah, we'll all get through it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. All our sales, Small Business Saturday and Black Friday, are available on our website, anglersannapolis.com. Bill, thanks again for stopping by, and thank you guys for tuning in.